Denise Harrison says, buy, sell, or hold. RFK Jr. will garner at least 20% of the popular vote in November. I would have bought this in January. In fact, it was one of my top 10 predictions for this year that I thought he would exceed Ross Perot's 19% in 1992, which is the, by far, modern record of a third-party candidate in the two-party era, which goes back to post-Civil War Reconstruction. I'll sell now. I don't think he'll get anything close to that. I think his campaign, a lot of that momentum, I think, has stalled. I think his VP, and I'm saying this regretfully, because even though I have some fundamental issue disagreements with him, I have an immense amount of respect for him on a man-to-man level. And there are some areas where I have as the utmost respect for him among virtually any national figure in the country. So I think he is necessary for the debate and needed, if nothing else, as a cudgel to try to get something righteous and good out of the other major party in their major parties in their current state. But I don't see that right now. Now, I changed my mind. We are what? How many days into this year? About 120 days into the year, something like that. Okay, so could I change it again in 120 days? I could, but as of right now, I would sell when at the beginning of the year I would have enthusiastically bought this.
I'm selling, and I wasn't as enthusiastic back then, even though he and I were from the same anti-vax tribe before COVID. And his vice president pick actually just came out with a very bold statement about the mRNA vaccines. I give her credit for that, but that's not value added with this thing. And I've always been skeptical about his ability to overcome the magical power of vaccines when both parties were drunk on the thing, and the Republican standard remains as drunk as ever before. People are too desperate to seek out that alternative without being given a reason on top of that. And that didn't happen. See, this is what I applaud her stance on vaccination. We already got that from him. He needed to do something with that woke it up on yet another level on multiple issues like that. No one's talking about her. No one even knows who she is still to this day. Mm-hmm. That's what it was such a huge, huge missed opportunity on his part, and it just goes to show that he's probably, I get he has to fund this thing and all that, but he's on some level it just looks, as I said before, he's just kind of playing a politician's game with this pick, and nobody wants him because he plays politicians' games. Exactly.
If you can't get this woman to cut you the check that you need from her without her putting you on the ticket, well, that's pretty much the same game everybody else plays. Yeah. So either you put her on the ticket to get a check, or she wouldn't cut you the check necessary to put her on the ticket. There's just no way anybody would objectively look at, pick somebody that a lot of people like all over the spectrum, Mike Rowe. There's no way you can make any objective case whatsoever that Nicole Shanahan is a better choice for RFK Jr. than Mike Rowe. Not a case to be made anywhere, with one exception. She can cut a really large check. And Mike Rowe's not, a poor man, but he's not the kind of guy that's funding a multi-state ballot effort. Okay. We're not, he's not Leonardo DiCaprio. Okay. So, but again, that goes back to what I just said. If that's what it took to get her to write you the check was to put her on the ticket, that is the same kind of quid pro quo that we get everywhere else already. So what's the point there? Right. Yeah.